Welcome back, trainers. So as you may know, in June we will be getting the community day for Slakoth. Slacking will have the featured move Body Slam, but that does not fix the case of the Yawn. Quick move that does no damage. High energy gain, but no damage. We're going to be talking about that in this video and seeing what we can come up with because it is quite odd here. So we have the announcement of Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Home, the new Pokemon Go Plus Plus. Yeah, that's it. And what's going on here? Well, it's starting to come together now as to why they picked Slakoth for June, kind of more of a promotion for this. And we have ourselves wondering, what is going on with Yawn? Why did they give Snorlax Yawn? So it pretty much looks like we're at a sporting event in an arena with all of the company logos plastered around. And we're sitting here like, okay, Pokemon Sleep, that's, seems fun. Pokemon Home, absolutely necessary for the Pokemon community. For all of the main series games as well as Pokemon Go, we'll see all of the features and more coming in the future. But we're left wondering, okay, Yawn on Snorlax. A little promotion for this game. It's fun, Pokemon Sleep. All right, I get it. An abundance of Snorlax candies, that's for sure something to take advantage of. And if you did not know and you're trying to catch one of these, it is going to take you 2 balls for it to break out. And then finally on your 3rd ball, you'll be able to catch it. But if you're using your Go Plus, you can simply just push the button, or if you have a gotcha, it's going to be catching them in the first try. So all you have to do is make sure you're stocked up on Pokeballs. And even though you're throwing 3 balls at it, it's actually only going to consume 1 of your Pokeballs, or Ultra, Great, whatever you're using there. And also if you're trying to feed it a berry, just do it on the first encounter. You don't have to wait until the last throw. You can throw it, berry at it in the first try. It does not show or appear as if you did, but at the end you will be getting that double candy or whatever effect that you did have on it. As you can see, I got 6 candies there. It did not show the pineapple berry for the last 2 throws, but it still counted as if I used it, right? So simple enough, so take note of that. But moving on here, what is going to happen with Yawn? Are we going to possibly see what happens in the main series games to some degree? Well, maybe, possibly. But the thing is, in PvP for Pokemon Go, the matches are so fast, and putting a Pokemon to sleep is going to be a little OP. So we're going to have to work around this and figure out how it's possibly going to work. So what do we have over here on Bulbapedia? Yawn makes the target drowsy. At the end of the next turn, the drowsy Pokemon will fall asleep unless it already has an effect by a non-volatile status condition, meaning that if it's already poisoned, burned, paralyzed, which in Pokemon Go we do not have those, so we can disregard that. Is already in effect. If the drowsy Pokemon switches out, it loses the drowsiness, meaning the next turn, when they are hit with the Yawn, if they do switch, they will not fall asleep, but you are, taking the risk in switching a Pokemon there. The main series games, it works a little bit different. In Pokemon Go, I can see something of this effect happening. We're going to go into more details. So there you have it. If you were not familiar with the main series games, basically when the opponent uses the Yawn move, it's going to take 1 turn for you to fall asleep, and if you do not switch out, then that Pokemon will go to sleep. The amount of turns in which it will stay asleep is completely random. You can wake up in 2 turns, you can wake up in the next turn. It's just all RNG. Now, going into a trainer battle up against Spark here, I am using pretty decent CP Pokemon. I'm not going to be TMing the charge moves to get the perfect type to go up against it. Obviously, Earthquake would be ideal here, but yeah, we're going to make do with what we have. And as you're going to see, it's a struggle to win. It's never a struggle to win. This is going to be the Master League, obviously, with this high CP Snorlaxes. But at this point, it's not that great. I'm not over here complaining. I'm just trying to connect the dots and bring you guys this information here. So could we possibly see Yawn taking some sort of a status effect for the opponent in the future when Niantic does announce Slakoth's Community Day, possibly Body Slam, as well as Yawn can now put your opponent to sleep? But how would that work in Pokemon Go? How exactly? Well, let's think about this here. Since the matches are so quick, like we went over, putting a Pokemon to sleep does seem like, a little OP, right? You're going to be sitting there asleep while the other opponent is going to be able to switch out while that Pokemon is asleep, and then just, go to work on you while you're just sitting there. So how could this work? Well, maybe it'll make it so you cannot attack for about 4 seconds, or possibly skip out on your next charge move at random, okay? So that's what my thoughts are. Maybe, okay? It might just make you, go to sleep for a turn, and you simply can't use your next charge move. Could that be something we will have in Pokemon Go? maybe to some degree. Now, if you're thinking, okay, Poke, sure, give it a status effect, put the opponent to sleep for a few seconds. That sounds nice and dandy, but the thing is, Yawn is a quick move. It's continuously working and happening. You're spamming your opponent with it. Is it going to simply put every single Pokemon to sleep at every turn you get to use it? Not exactly. It's going to have a very low percentage of this effect actually working, possibly. Say like a 10% chance, maybe a 5% chance, since you're continuously spamming it over and over again. The chances are going to be slim, but it's still going to be there. And if it does work, then it's going to be pretty nice to have your opponent asleep for about 4 seconds, 3 seconds, as well as possibly missing out on their next charge move, which can be devastating. But you are taking a risk by using a Pokemon with Yawn that is literally doing no damage. Yes, high energy gain, but the quick moves are quite a lot for PvP. And Spark is sitting over here with that smug face, like, I want to win a match for once. Yeah, for now, buddy. But as you can see, I'm very much struggling to actually take him out here. If I had Hyper Beam, obviously I would be looking a whole lot better and probably would have been able to win this, seeing that Earthquake is not very effective to that Zapdos there, but that's not the discussion here. It's just a little example as Yawn at its current state is not really doing much for it, especially because you cannot have Yawn and Body Slam. Yes, I went over the best ideal movesets for the Snorlax with Yawn yesterday, and the Yawn and Body Slam did come up, but that was a simulator, just kind of going over, you know, the numbers as to which one's going to be better. So yeah, you cannot have Yawn and Body Slam because Body Slam is a legacy, but hopefully breeding will be in the future and all of that will change. All right, now let's do a little comparison with the stats with Slacking and Snorlax, seeing that they both have Yawn, and discuss this a little bit further here. So Slacking is going to be maxing out at 4,431 CP, attack 290, defense 166, and stamina 284, while Snorlax is going to be sitting at a max CP of 3,225, attack 190, defense 169, and stamina 330. So as we can see, Slacking's attack is going to be 100 more than Snorlax, which is quite significant in giving it the edge there. As to you understand why it has Yawn in Pokemon Go. If it had a quick move, Slacking would be everywhere. Everybody would want to be using it in PvP. It'd be extremely OP. And in the main series games, it can only attack once every other turn, kind of giving it that nerf there as well. So they're both going to be normal type, weak to fighting, resisting Ghost. So let's discuss Yawn if it was to actually get some sort of status effect and put your opponent to sleep. And as far as gyms and raids are concerned, it's, say we did get Yawn and it did have some sort of sleeping effect, you drop your Slacking in a gym, would it put your opponent to sleep? I don't think so, because as we've seen it now, every implementation for some sort of defense down, attack up, has been in PvP only, and I think it's going to stay true to that. But how can they make it in PvP so it's not going to be some sort of absurd move that's just continuously making you skip out on your charge moves? If that's the case, just taking shots in the dark as to how it's going to work. Well, at this point, I'm pretty much throwing out all of my ideas as to how this can possibly work at this point. But I do have one more idea. This is highly unlikely, but it's still going to be fun to theorize on this. And that is going to be slowing your opponent down. They just start moving slower. They gain energy a lot slower, and it's going to be a little bit harder to actually get off the charge move the more yawns you get onto their opponent. What do you think? That seems very unlikely. I think the other part where they stay asleep or can't move for about 4 seconds and miss out on a charge move is pretty much the full effect as to what we're going to see for Yawn, if it is even going to receive some sort of effect come the announcement by Niantic for the Body Slam alongside the Yawn announcement, if that's even going to be the case, guys. Now, this is going to bring us to our final conclusion as to what do you want to do exactly with these Yawn Snorlax. Obviously, take advantage of the event until June 3rd, catch as many as you can, pine-up them, and get as many candies as you possibly can for Snorlax, because they're somewhat of a rare Pokemon to encounter. Otherwise, you can hatch the Munchlax, but not everybody can continuously incubate eggs, so this event is golden for you to take advantage and get those candies, right? So what do you want to do with them? Do you want to keep every single one that you have? Obviously not. Hold on to the good IV ones. Keep a couple. And yes, you can TM Yawn from the current Yawn to another moveset. People were getting confused as to, like, I can't TM into it. No, you can't do that. You can TM away from it, all right? So there you go, trainers, on my thoughts regarding Yawn. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. We may just see a status effect coming in the future when they announce the Slakoth Body Slam, but who knows what Niantic is cooking up. So with that said, trainers, thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time.